Hi. I've still got my microphone. I haven't checked to see if I got any feedback from my last video, but I'm completely compelled to just dive on in. And for someone who's been a wader most of her life, wading in slowly, checking the water, getting a bit scared, running out, not scared, finding the water too cold, too hot. And now I think it's just right. So I'm diving in again, and like nothing else matters. That's what I called the original sort of recordings I started doing. I think it's a couple of years ago now. And then life, as it does, took hold and took me on a roller coaster. I just felt like I'd had the momentum going, and it just completely blew me out of the water. And that's kind of what happens, I've found, when you start choosing the more in life. That's something I've really noticed. Oh, holy guacamole. It is the wildest ride when you really start to realize there's more to life and there's more to this world that we live in. And once you really start getting a hold on the thread that you're following, and if you're here, I'm not sure where to look. Where am I looking? Uh. If you're here, you must be on the trail because, as I've realized, synchronicity is rife, both. And especially at the moment, we seem to be in this energy, and I am still working it all out as we go along. Like I've said, I don't know everything. I don't think there's anyone who knows everything. I think there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that seem to be coming together at the moment, which is very interesting. So if we think of ourselves as a piece to this bigger puzzle, well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because if we're fragments of the universe, if we could kind of just have like a world meeting and go, right, let's just work out what's going on with us. Like, who are we? Who are we? Why are we here? What is the purpose of this life experience? And kind of go from there. I think I did sort of touch on this in the last video, but I think it's kind of important. I think we've been highly distracted for a long time. And I feel like now it's almost impossible to not be distracted. I feel like a lot of people are pulling into a calling, and there's a lot of people here who are meant to guide and be a light, like a light post, and say certain things, do certain things. I feel like if there's anybody who's saying, give me all your money and do and do exactly as I tell you, then they may not be the right people. So do use your discernment. Also, don't just think your way through things, feel your way to the truth, because the truth has resonance. Everything has resonance, and we are designed to pick up on the resonance. We are like receivers. And from what I'm understanding, as a non-expert, but I do like I've been on this trail for a long time, even when I didn't know I was. And then now I consciously chose to know more, to grow more, to be more. And even I was talking with a lovely sister, Sista, one of my sisters from another mother this morning. And we were talking about how we would rather die than compromise ourselves anymore. Isn't that crazy? We would rather die than turn back and go back to who we were before we really opened up to the real reality. I'm probably going to say that term a lot. To the real reality. We would rather die. And that sounds really serious. It sounds harsh. It sounds like maybe we're crazy. Maybe we are. Sometimes I feel a little crazy because I found I see through all illusions now. Like nothing can hide. The truth can no longer hide in anything, anyone, any place. Everything seems to be transparent, like a block or a curtain has been pulled away from everything and everyone, and the true beingness of everything is coming to the light. So I can relate this to my understanding that the light in our reality is getting brighter, therefore the darkness is becoming denser and more able to see, and we're able to see things we didn't see previously. It doesn't mean they weren't there. They were always there, but now it's so apparent. And we can see this happening worldwide, globally, and we can see this in our own lives, like on the micro macro, I guess. And where where I'm going, like I can't compromise myself anymore. And I think probably if you're here, you very well may be on that same path because, like I've said, we're all attracted to what we need to hear or see or something that is relevant to us. Something not the arms. I will go and edit these. If I leave any in, just tell me, and next time I'll be more onto getting rid of the ums. But I almost said it again. I cannot compromise myself anymore. I feel myself being pulled into realness, into my authenticity is a good word that resonates. And I would just rather not be here than not go further into this truth of who I am and of who the world is, what the world is, the people around me, the places, the community. I feel everything unable to hide anymore, which is a bit scary, but it's actually really good because I feel from what I've learned, especially over the last couple of years, it seems like this learning has grown exponentially. And every single day, I'm, I can't not, I can't not, sorry, that's a double negative. I can't not be on this trail. It just pulls me in every day. And there's no choice about it, but I want to. I want to know more. I want to be more. I want to realize that our world is more, that we're not just here on this planet, this sphere spinning around aimlessly with no meaning, but there's not the meaning that I might have learned through my childhood of there's a heaven, there's a hell. If you're good, you go there. If you're bad, you go there. It's not so much like that. And it is a self journey, a soul journey. We are creating, I'm pretty certain, I am very much aligned with the understanding that we create our reality from the inside out, that we do through our belief systems and our focus create. There is a time lag. I think in our reality, it's important to have a time lag because otherwise we would be smiting people, destroying things. There would be chaos because you'd think something and bam. And we haven't been that disciplined. So I'm really glad, even with myself at times, that there's a time lag because, when you get angry at someone or upset and you're not in control of your emotions. And if you do lash out, even if your mind, oh my goodness, we'd be knocking each other off and, doing horrible things to each other. So that time, okay, the time lag is very important. But I feel like as we're growing and getting closer to where we're evolving to, the time lag isn't going to be the same. So I think it's really, 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 really important that we all start consciously thinking about what our beliefs are, what we want, truly want, who we truly want to be. Like who are you? If I was to ask you who you are, and without just giving me, I don't know, your job, what you like to wear, what you like to watch, like who are who is the core person in here? For some reason, I feel like this is the space. I feel like it's sort of holistic in our mind. Well, mind, body, soul. It is mind, body, soul, isn't it? So who are you if you were to really think about it? And even more so at this particular point in time, who is it you want to become? I think that is of the utmost important. Who is it we want to become individually, and who do we want to become as humanity? What do we want our planet, our life, our reality to be like? Because to be honest with you, and I will just be pretty harsh here, we're not cutting it. We're not getting it right. Look at the world. Look at the wars perpetuated by those that we've put in places of power. And once upon a time, and I'm guessing, surmising that this is a long time ago, we gave away our power. The only power anyone can ever have over us is the power that we give them. So we gave our power away to other individuals because we didn't want the responsibility of getting it right. And we certainly didn't want to have to own up if we got it wrong. So we gave our power away and said, you do this for us. You create the infrastructure, create the roads and the buildings and the systems and the schools and everything for us. And if you get it wrong, we might whinge at you. Or if you get it right, we'll give you an applause. So we gave our free will away. We gave our power. But looking at the world, I'm questioning it. I'm questioning how that's going, because I don't think we should be in a world at this state of our evolution, even where there are people in poverty and scarcities, there's children suffering, there's children disappearing off the face of the earth, hundreds of thousands of children, and that's only what's on record. All that is coming up because the light is shining bright. So there's a lot of secrets that are being revealed. That's going to cause a lot of people to fall in their frequency, because learning that is going to be a big blow to humanity. But it's really important, because if we don't realize what's going on, how are we going to choose any better? And when we choose, we want to remember that we're choosing for every little innocent child that is born onto our planet, into this world, into this reality. And not all children, like some children for thousands of years now have not even had a chance. Like they've been caught in a cycle. They've been caught in a karmic cycle, and through these soul traps, they keep coming back in. And it's interesting, and this would probably be a whole other conversation, but I had some downloady stuff a while ago that sort of explained to me that the perpetrator is also the victim, and they get stuck in a cycle of coming around and being the perpetrator to being the victim. And that's a really hard thing, because when we're talking about children, but when we're talking about a greater understanding of reality and who we are as spiritual, light, energetic beings here having an experience, you can make sense of it. But in our human form, it can just cut you up because, we want to protect innocence and purity, and we really want, well, I'm pretty sure you would want it. I want it. I want everybody to have a wonderful, beautiful, abundant, happy, healthy, joyous, fulfilled experience here on earth. And as I said, we're not cutting it. Like, can't we do better? Can't we do better? I would like to start the club, or, start your own club. I don't really care. Well, I do care. I am care. I would like to start the club where we go, right, let's shift things now. Let's create the world where everybody matters, where we look after everybody, where we make sure everybody has the fundamentals to survive. Like, everyone has a beautiful home. Everyone has clean water, clean, fresh, good water. Everyone has wonderful, healthy, nutritious food. Everybody has love and community, and we support families. We don't send both parents out to work and send children to be brought up by strangers, by institutions. So let's do it. But how are we going to do that? We have to imagine it first. This is also something, and I'm not religious. I wasn't brought up religious. I have attempted to read the Bible. I've found it really hard. There are things that stick out, like just even this one. This is what I came in to say. I won't get into everything about the Bible because I don't know enough. But when I heard this line, man was made in God's image, when I interpret it, it is man was made in God's imagination. And I'll change the word God with universe, which I believe is the same thing, the same name, the same title given to the same energy, the same greatness, the same godliness. And so it's not so much that we look like God. So God is that old man with the big beard and the robes and the staff. It's we were created in the universe's imagination. We were created in thought first. And we are also, as we are a fragment of the universe, of God, you could say, of source energy, whatever title you want to give to this great one energy, the great I am that we all are. So we also create, as I'm finding and learning and working it out, playing it out, we also have that same ability to create in our imagination. So we create in thought first, and then that creation is building or built in the spiritual, in the energetic form. And then through inspired action, through intuition, through little niggles from above, the signs and synchronicity, then are led to build it in the physical. But we have to, if we want anything to be, we need to bring it from thought first. We need to imagine it. And maybe are we doing that enough in our world? Are we creating our world that we want in our thoughts, in our words, through our songs, through our dances, through our movies, through our books. Because when I look, well, I don't even watch movies anymore. I only read things that help me grow. I hardly watch anything at all. I do watch spiritual growth things and anything that is giving me information, and then I kind of pull out through the message what makes sense to me. But are we doing that enough? Because when I was watching movies and programs, they're all quite negatively based. Like when a lot of futuristic movies, there's always a massive separation in the classes. There's the lower, darker, it's often raining and horrible, and people in poverty, class down the bottom that's doing all the dirty work. And then there's the up high in the high rise apartments with champagne and parties and blah. What is with that? Why do we do that? Why do we separate ourselves when, can you imagine? And I can imagine, and please do imagine, can you imagine the world where everybody is living in their own little piece of paradise and we're all interacting and it's beautiful? There's no classes. And I don't subscribe to communism at all, because from what I've gathered too, that seems it's still got classes. There's all the people down the bottom who have all the same amount of stuff, and then there is the few up the top that actually have everything. So I don't think that is the answer, but I think it's very important to actually imagine it. Just with yourself. You could sit quietly, you could have a book, you could write it down, or you could have a group of friends or family or one person where you just talk about it and imagine it. Because if we don't do that, it actually literally cannot come to be, because everything starts in thought. And then there was the word. So what I think from that is the vibration, the resonance, the frequency. So, and as I've said, I am still working this out as I go along, and I'm having fun doing it. It's getting funner, if that's a word. But I feel like this is something I'd like to do with other people. So I'm really, really happy if anyone has other insight to share, because I think it's really important for us to all be talking with each other and growing this together and sowing seeds together and having fun along the way, because that fun light energy does also make a difference, because then we're on a higher frequency, then everything's easier, I think. And we can therefore build a beautiful world together. Sorry, I'm distracted because there's water running at the moment. So that is my little thought and word for the day. So all I'm doing here is sharing thoughts from my journey as I'm working it out, because I am finding we're at a very interesting point in time. And time is, I say that loosely, because as I'm finding, time is an illusion. It is a man-made construct that helps us to kind of make sense of things. We have this whole linear thing. I prefer to think of life, and it's funny in a way, funny for me, like a stack of pancakes, and we've got these layers, and then the maple syrup that you drizzle all the way through. I think that's my representation of the universe, of source energy. And it's kind of like brings everything together. Anyway, so my minutes are getting up there, so I won't talk for much longer. But as I said, I have this real urge, and I've had this before, and then it's been kind of blocked and other life stuff has happened. So I'm really wanting to follow this pull and this call and keep the momentum going. So there's something really important about momentum and keeping the focus on what it is that you want. And I feel at the moment that's even more significant. So I'm going to endeavor to keep coming in, opening my mouth. I don't like, I kind of, because I was in a phone call earlier and we were talking about this, I springboard, jumped off into this conversation, but I'm really doing my best to follow my intuition and see what comes in the moment. So we'll see what happens. I'm just having fun and I might just be talking with myself, in which case it's even more fun with the microphone and headphones because I feel like I'm playing a game or something. Okay, that is it from me for now, wherever you are. I hope you're having a beautiful day, a beautiful experience in this real reality. And if you'd like to come on a journey with me, please share your thoughts, share your insights, and let's create this world together. Much love.